Yes, my name is Soulby. I work in the business school. I've worked there, oh goodness, I've had a long association with Hallam for over 20 years, and I've worked mainly in tourism management, but also on business courses, undergraduate and postgraduate level. The module I'm going to talk to you about is Understanding Tourism as a Business. It's a level 4 module, an introductory module to students who may or may not have studied tourism before and who are being introduced into the topic of tourism as businesses and as an industry and a commercial sector to it. So you're probably all thinking, tourism management, that's probably about going on holidays. She could probably book me a really good holiday, couldn't she? And a lot of the students arrive, believe it or not, believing that that is what they're going to learn, how to be good bookers of holidays and how to travel the world in style. That is not the case. The title of my little presentation today was All Aboard. I do a seminar in the train station, in Sheffield train station. One of the topics that I attack is transport, and transport links, networks, development of how crucial it is to tourism development and management, because if you can't move people around a country or a destination, you have no tourism, you have no economic development, you do not have that activity, and the visitor exchange, people cannot participate, and therefore we can't get an economic benefit or a social benefit from it. So tourism is really crucially important, but it's not very exciting, is it, to talk about transport in trains and cars and aeroplanes. So to try and get across the idea that transport is really a network and it has to have lots of people involved in it, public sector and businesses, to develop a network, I do a lecture on tourism, transport, and introduce the different types of transport. And then I say, for your seminar, meet me at the train station. There's a set of questions, seminar questions that I put on Blackboard, and I say, print them off, bring them to the train station, and we're going to have those seminar questions in the train station. I meet them underneath the departure board. Some of the questions they could answer before they go, do a bit of research before they go, but when we are there, they are answering the questions, and they come and they meet me back there at the cafe, at a table at certain times, and they're working in groups, and they're going around having a look at the train station and from a different perspective. They've been through it a million times, but now they've got to think about how do you manage all of these thousands of people getting around South Yorkshire and using the train station as a hub, and how to do it, and what agencies are involved in providing that transport network for people to use. So some of the questions are that they have to look at train links, and they have to work out where could you go from that station, and how has Sheffield developed a transport network, and if you were travelling from that station, how far could you go? How could you get to the nearest airport? How long would it take you? What would be the quickest route to do that? So the links that they have to try and almost a bit like those charity challenges. They have to work out how far they could go in the shortest space of time from Sheffield train station, and they have to go and ask somebody to do that, or they have to get on their phones and research it. They also have to look at the integration with the modes of transport and the stations themselves, the quality of the experience at the station, which has improved massively. And part of Sheffield's development plan was that golden corridor from the train station up through Millennium Galleries, Peace Gardens, and into the city centre. It's a coordinated effort to get people from the station, that if you remember Dyson House and all of the hideous buildings you had to go through before you got to the nice city centre where the visitor experience can happen, that has all been improved at great expense and at a coordinated effort with public sector and private sector. So they have to think about what it looks like. Then they have to look at what businesses there are in the station and how they're becoming experiential for visitors and how they're contributing, those businesses are contributing to the use of stations as, or not destinations in themselves, but a little keeping people in those stations and providing services for them. You only have to look at St Pancras to realise that is no longer just a station, that is a hub, a shopping hub, and distributes people. I've got 1 minute, I believe now. Distributes people around London. So they have to give some consideration to that. And they have to work out, it's incredibly boring, isn't it, but about signage. Signage is crucially important in the visitor economy and for tourism. If you can't signpost people, then you're failing and you've got lots of people walking around not knowing where to go and making the maximum usage of your facilities. So they have to look at signage in the train station, and they can only really do that if they are there. They can't really do it in the classroom. I could show them on a picture in the classroom a little bit more, and they may as well be there and then start to look. And it's amazing what they see when they're there that they've never seen before. The benefits are, it's a bit of fun. They think, what, really? You want us to go to the train station? It's just down the road. We can actually be there. They all turn up. They think it's quite, what's going to happen, so they're interested, they go. They don't think, oh, well, I'm not going to go and do that. They're engaged. They go, they do the questions. It's an actually nice, informal relationship-building exercise because we can have a bit of time. If they're not rushing off to another class, we can sit and have a coffee, and a couple of students do hang around afterwards. I've done it 3 or 4 times now. And they sit and have a coffee with me, and I go, did you think about this before when you've been through a train station, what's involved? Never thought about that.
Karen, thank you. 7 minutes. Thanks very